Hi, everybody. I'm going to try to make this short. I always say that and it never really turns out that way. But as I'm sure you could probably tell and probably have heard, I'm freaking exhausted. But I know if I go to sleep right at this second that I'm just going to wake up in a few hours and then I won't be able to sleep again, because it's pretty much exactly what happened yesterday. So basically the point of this video is to talk about my experience at VPX Detroit, my first vaping convention, and do some updates, just kind of like my personal life, because just a lot of shit's going on all around the same time. Like this last, I would say, month has just been pretty crazy. So I wanted to give you guys an update. I wanted to show you what I got at the convention. I honestly didn't get a whole lot. I mean, I'm pleased with what I got, but just know that it's not like a super huge haul of stuff. I really was honestly distracted by the people, because that's really why I went to the vape convention to begin with, was to meet everybody. And I was more focused on that as opposed to, you know, getting stuff. So basically, just like kind of summary of the situation. I went out to Detroit Thursday, got there around 3:30-ish, I think, which was only about a half an hour later than I had planned. I wanted to be there by 3, but I don't know. I just didn't make it until 3:30. And the plan was to spend that day with my grandparents, because that's who I was staying with. And I knew I wouldn't probably see them all that much, or there was potential that I might not see them that much Friday and Saturday, because that's when the vape convention was. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to spend some time with them. So that's what I did Thursday. Went to bed, I think, fairly early. I didn't sleep very well, because the thing about their house is they have 2 dogs that like to run around, and it just was pretty loud, and I already have sleeping issues. I was already very, anxious, and not a bad anxious, a like excited anxious. And whenever like I have something big, this doesn't sound right, but whenever I have something big coming up, like I can't sleep. Like it just increases and worsens my insomnia. So I couldn't wind down. So, but it wasn't too bad. They changed the day on Friday. It was supposed to be open to the public from like 2 to 7 or something like that. But for whatever reason, they changed it kind of last minute. It was like maybe a week or 2 before the actual convention, which was unfortunate, because if people were like myself and bought a VIP pass for all 3 days, now they're only getting 2. And in my case, really just 1 had it been the case, because I was leaving Sunday and really didn't plan on going to the convention at all on Sunday, because I started my new job today. But we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. So I got there, I wanted to be there by, I think, 1, because the business to business opened at, I think it was noon. I don't know. Everything's kind of foggy, and all the days are kind of just blended together. But I got there a little later than I wanted to, not by much, but whatever. I ended up getting a little, not lost, because I was right there. But the thing about that downtown Detroit is it's more fucked up than even downtown Cleveland is. I hate driving downtown Cleveland. I used to work down there for like 2 years because of all the no left turns and one-way streets and all this other bullshit. Detroit's even worse. So, but that's neither here nor there. Just, it was annoying. Getting, like, the parking was an issue. But I got there, and the first one I saw, ironically, was dirty, because Daniel's booth, the iJoy booth, was right near the entrance. And they were like half of the group or a quarter of the group, whatever. There's a group like right next to Daniel, hanging out with him. So I think it was dirty. Daniel, I think ST was there right at the beginning. I'm pretty sure he was. And a couple other people. Like I said, my memory is just screwed, because I didn't get much sleep, like pretty much last, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 days. So anyway, I was expecting it to be a lot more awkward than it was. Like I expected to feel awkward a lot longer than I did. Like I didn't think I would warm up to everybody so quickly, but honestly, once I got past the kind of like shock of knowing that the people that I usually see through a computer screen were in front of me, it was just like hanging out with them on, you know, on air or whatever. Actually better because, you know, you get to see them in person. And, you know, it was a great experience. Like if you've never gone to a vape convention and were worried about it, especially if you're going with other people, and you don't necessarily need to go with anyone. It depends on like why you're going. Like I was going for the people, to meet everybody, hang out with everybody. But if you're like looking for good deals on juice, and there wasn't a lot of hardware, but we kind of knew that. And I guess that's pretty common in vape conventions. It's pretty juice heavy. So I don't know. I really wasn't too concerned about it. I have enough stuff. I don't necessarily need anything, but yeah, so I went there. We hung out there for a little bit and then eventually made our way to Dawn's booth because her and Pegasus were sharing a booth and the other part of the group was over there hanging out around her booth, which is pretty consistent through the night. It's like either people were conjugated at the iJoy or the Adore booth. So it was pretty funny. And then, you know, I got to meet her, you know, just as lovely as I expected. Hung out, like out of everybody, I hung out with her, Dirty, Ken, which is Vaporwood, and probably ST the most. Probably more so Dawn and Ken, Dirty. Got to know Zach, who is Vaping Moderation. I haven't really honestly talked to him a whole lot before meeting him face to face, but you know, I got to spend a good amount of time with him. But yeah, it was just like everyone was so welcoming and warm. Like even ST, who, if you don't really know him, he can be very intimidating. Like I was intimidated by him at first, to be honest, like do like the shows or whatever. But like he's just like a big sweetheart. He's a big teddy bear. So that was fine. Like I didn't really feel awkward around anybody, which was crazy because I'm not a social person. I'm very socially, I don't know if would consider myself socially awkward, or maybe not like the most extreme version, like definitely not the most extreme version, but like, yeah, I am to some extent socially awkward because I don't know, I'm kind of weird, but it is whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So basically it was just a great time. Like a lot of great people, just fun all the time. People were making comments about, because like I was posting photos on Facebook, you know, that was the first time they ever seen me smile, which is bullshit. I smile sometimes, not a lot, because it's just not the type of person I am. Like I smile when it's justified. I don't just walk around smiling all the time. But yeah, it's definitely like one of the best times that I've had like ever. It was just a really awesome experience. So basically I wanted to talk about briefly what you might expect going to a vape convention, because I really didn't have too many expectations outside of what people were telling me, which some I found were kind of inaccurate, at least in my experience. Of course, it's going to vary on like who you are, how you deal with the situation, where the convention is. For what I gather, the VPX was kind of smaller than a lot of conventions, so that could have been it too, because you know I was told that I'd be like leaving with like bags and bags of stuff, which probably had I tried harder or like really tried it all, probably could have. It just wasn't really a concern to me. But I would not personally go in with the expectation of leaving with a whole bunch of free shit, because you may be disappointed. it depends on who you are. If people know who you are, like I'm a fairly small YouTuber. And that's not to say that's a bad thing or anything. It's just I'm only known in certain groups. So I really didn't expect much of anything or for people to know who I was because, number one, I'm told I look way different in person. I don't know how accurate it is because, you know, I'm myself. So it's hard to see me from an outside perspective. I know on camera, I will say that me and the camera don't get along. I don't look good in pictures, which is why I don't like taking pictures. But I took a couple because, you know, I wanted to document the experience and just remember it and whatever. So the pictures of myself don't look too great, but it was more about the people that I was around and getting photos with them. So that was nice. But like I said, I would not personally go in with the expectation that you're going to get a bunch of free shit. Like we were supposed to get like this grab bag of stuff, mainly juice, just for getting like a VIP ticket and or the business to business ticket. We didn't get anything. Supposedly they're going to mail it to us, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But it's just, it was kind of annoying, just the way it was just, it didn't seem like it was very organized at all. But I'm just like, whatever. Like, I had a great time. That to me is what was important. So it is what it is. But I just don't want you to have high expectations and be disappointed. So just go there basically to have a good time. That's really what it's about. I mean, unless that's your goal is to like buy shit, because you definitely can buy like whatever. And I guess the prices they tend to be a little cheaper than you would come across like even online. Not really sure how accurate that is because I only bought I think one thing there just because I don't know, I didn't really care to buy anything else. But there's Gizzard. Hi, Momo. You want to come here? You come here? No, she doesn't. Anyway, so yeah, just don't expect to get a bunch of free shit because you might not get it. And if you do plan on getting free shit, definitely, like, especially if you're a YouTube reviewer or something like that, you know, business cards are a very good idea. Like I actually was in situations where having one would have been very beneficial to me even. So especially if you're more popular than I am, like have more of a following than I have and are looking to expand your channel and make connections, you definitely can. Just having a business card is really a good idea because it has all your information there. They're going to remember you, blah, blah, blah. So it's definitely a good thing. Definitely talk to the people. Like if you just go walking past, they're not necessarily going to jump out and grab you, because that was kind of like the impression I was getting, and maybe it's more aggressive in certain situations, but that didn't happen to me. The only time I was approached is if I stopped and like was looking at stuff. Then, you know, I was approached or whatever. I honestly didn't even, and this is bad, but I didn't even get to like every booth that was there, just because usually there was too many people at the particular booth, or the people in the booth just didn't look very inviting at all. Or I just didn't want to, because like because it was so many juices, e-liquids everywhere, and I get vaped out pretty quickly, and it's just like I got to the point where it's like I don't want to fucking try juice anymore. So really the only vendor booth that I was spent any good amount of time at was Mod Juice, which I did get something for them. I actually got a couple of things from them. I actually went there 2 different times. The first time I went was the Friday, which was just business to business. Talked to Joshua. I got his approval to call him by name. He spent some time with me, just asked, you know, like who I was and my flavor profile, and to try a few things. Before I even told him I was an e-juice reviewer, he gave me a free bottle of I think he didn't know I was a juice reviewer at first, because there was 2 different times I went to that booth and spent time there. But regardless, he gave me a bottle. I might as well show you now since I'm talking about it, I put all my stuff I got, with the exception of one thing that I can't find. It's probably somewhere buried in my purse. My purse is freaking massive. I got a bottle of, I guess, their newest flavor in the line. It's called Titan. And it's I think he said a pineapple sorbet. And mind you, I like pineapple in real life, but even real life, I can't eat a lot of it because it makes, this is going to sound wrong, it makes my mouth raw because of all the acidity and like the coarse texture of it. So I have to watch with that. And in e-liquid, it tends to be very harsh. This is actually not. I was actually very pleasantly surprised with this. I will be doing a review on it. I just want to vape it longer. I've only had it a couple days, but so far I really do like it. So he gave me that. He also gave me his business card, as well as this little, it's like a juice cloth, you know, to wipe off, like a juice rag or whatever the fuck you call those things. Where the hell is it? I'm telling you, man. I really need to get organized. Here it is. Just a cute little, I don't even know if it's like right side up. Nope, sure as hell not. Just a little juice rag, nice and cute, like the cleanse cleaning, like what you'd use to clean a lens, that kind of cloth or whatever. So that's cute. He also told me, you know, to contact him just to keep communication open and let him know how the juice was. Also, they had a tester out for an e-liquid they were considering carrying in their store, which was really good. I was actually, that's why I went back the second day. I went back to go buy it, but it turns out it's not available for sale yet. I don't know if it's just not available, period, or if it's just not available through them, but it was a grape bubblegum. And I honestly didn't even want to try it because any grape flavored e-liquid I've ever tried has tasted like medicine, outside of, I think, maybe one that I made myself, and it was using white grape, which is a completely different flavor than like purple type of grape. Concord grape would be like the closest thing to not being medicinal, but even that could be interpreted as being medicinal. But I tried it anyway because Joshua said it was really good and got good feedback. And honestly, it was really good. If you like grape bubblegum, it's like spot on. It does not taste like fucking those, I don't know if you know those, like, what are those things called? I want to say Theraflu, but I don't think that's what it is. But it's like those little popsicles that you give kids when they're sick. Not popsicles, suckers. They're shaped like a bear, and they have like the purple one, and I think Dimetap it's whatever. It tastes like Dimetap usually, but this stuff doesn't. So I wish I knew what the name was, but since it wasn't for sale, I was just like, whatever. So I'm going to keep in contact with them to find out if they end up carrying that flavor or whatever, and possibly get that. But anyway, the second time I went back there, when I found out that I couldn't get that flavor, I talked to a lady. Oh my God, I can't remember her name. I have her card, but it's all the way over there, so I'm not getting it. But she was really, really nice. And before I even told her that I did, you know, YouTube reviews or anything like that, because I told her I came back for that flavor, she first led me to a booth that was across the way. It was like some confetti cake, and she said that it was good. And even though she typically doesn't like cakes, it's really good. So I tried it. It was honestly okay. It kind of just tasted like cake with the confetti sprinkles, and you can definitely taste the confetti sprinkle. It has a very distinctive flavor to me. It's just not, I'm not big on bakery vapes. So, you know, I didn't want to buy it or whatever. So we walked around like to the other side, which was a different thing. I don't know if they're all affiliated or what, but they were in separate booths. And she let me try this yogurt flavor. It's a raspberry yogurt from here. And I did like this, so she just straight up gave it to me. And then we were talking, you know, about like what I did or whatever. I told her I was an e-juice reviewer, and that's when she gave me her card and told me to keep in touch and just let her know about the feedback, blah, blah, blah. So that was nice. Like, they were definitely the most friendly booth that I went to. I'm just looking at comments real quick. I'm not sure what Flipster's talking about because I'm not paying attention. The other booth that was nice was Good Life Vapor, I think they're called. Yeah. Here's our little sticker. I got a bumper sticker somewhere. I think I might have left that in the car so I could actually put it on. Mind you, I don't have any bumper stickers on my car, but it's cute. It's like white background with pink labeling on it. Being a girl, like having a total girl moment, I honestly was drawn to their booth merely because of their stickers. I know that's stupid, but it's true. And, you know, we were talking and I told him, you know, like I tried a couple flavors. By that point, I was vaped out because I had just come from the mod fuel booths. And basically he gave me his card, told me to email him after I told him, you know, I review juice or whatever, or I'm just a vape reviewer, whatever you want to call me. You know, he told me that, you know, to email him and then he would send me samples of some of their juice because I've heard of them. I just never tried them because I'm just so picky with vendor juice that it's like, I don't know. It's weird. When you're a DIYer, you tend to be pickier than just like a standard customer because number one, you have so many flavors. Like I have so many flavors. It's like, if I feel like I can replicate it, I don't want to buy it because it's so much cheaper to do it myself. I can tweak it to exactly what I want it to be. And so I just tend not to spend money on pre-made juice, but he's supposed to be sending me samples. He did email me back, I think today. And so that's that. So that's pretty much my experience with like vendors. I did stop at the the chalk dust, whatever. But honestly, the guy in the booth just did not seem very happy. I guess they were disappointed in the turnout because this was Friday when I talked to them. I had only tried the one flavor. It was the gummy bear with like a crystallized sour glaze or something like that. It was okay, but they're 70-30 blends, and I could already tell that I'd probably start feeling a little after vaping them for a while because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a specific nic or 70-30 blends, but there's some 70-30 blends I can vape with not much problem, and then there's other ones that I just have issues with. And I think that one might have been that issue or whatever. Plus, I found it weird when I asked him what the ratio was. He told me it was 80-20, even though on their card it said 70-30. So I thought it was a little odd, and it just kind of it rubbed me the wrong way, basically. And it could just been an honest mistake. I don't know. It just wasn't impressed. Hello, Rhonda. Yeah, Flip, good luck with that. They were talking about that. Oh, Singer, that guy. I got to meet Singer of Truth. It was freaking awesome. Also got to meet Travis over there. Yes, I think it was the Wonder Worm. Momo agrees. So it was Saturday. I was hanging out with Dirty, walking around with him and Kenny Vaporwood. I don't remember if Zach was there because Zach was kind of like in and out of our little group. He'd kind of wander off, wander back, wander off, wander back. So I don't remember at which point he was there and when he wasn't. But I was like walking around, and I think we were on the way back to Dawn's booth. And I kept asking him, like, has anyone seen Singer? Because I knew he was supposed to be there. And Singer told me that when he saw me, he was going to give me, you know, that metal, sound or whatever. And all of a sudden out of nowhere I hear it and I'm like looking around like, where is he? And then he's like right there. It was so funny. And even funnier is that the whole time I was looking for him with long hair because that's what I'd seen him as, because I think he's only been on like maybe 1-2 tops live shows that I've been on. And I think back then he had long hair. So I'm like completely looking for like the wrong person. And He was like right there. It was so funny. But I got to hang out with him for a little bit. It was awesome. It was just, I got a couple pictures on Facebook with us hanging out or whatever. It was just, everyone was just so awesome. Walked around with him for a little bit because he was looking for something. I think he was looking for an RDA. And ran into a couple of his friends. I got to meet Mrs. Truth. She seemed really nice. Walked around for a little bit. Then he was looking for Dirty because I guess he was like the only person he hadn't run into. We found him, gathered them together, hung out a while, and then I guess Singer had to leave. Got to meet Travis and I believe it's his girlfriend. Her name's Haley. Met them. Was it Friday? Momo. Knock it off. Pretty sure it was Friday at the end of the night when everything was winding down and they came over to the booth and they were chatting with us. First they were chatting with like Dawn because I guess they buy juice from her quite a bit. And Haley was there and she's like, yeah, you know, I watch you all the time. And it was just so adorable. They're just so adorable. So I got to, you know, hang out with them for a little bit on Friday and then again a little bit on Saturday because they had like, you know, this, was it the, no, it wasn't the mixer. It was like the pre-show or pre-whatever. Because they were supposed to have a concert with Alien Ant Farm. I don't know if it ever ended up happening. I wasn't planning on staying around that late because it's just like, I really didn't feel like dealing with that. But they wanted to, and at that point, I had already started drinking. So I knew I wasn't going home because you know, once I start drinking and everything, I'm not driving. So, and I had told them before because when I came home Friday night, it was really late. It was like 2 a.m. and I had keys to the house and I told my grandma that I might be coming home late and she said it was fine because I had spare keys or whatever. Well, the spare keys didn't fucking work. So I'm outside at like 2 a.m. trying to jiggle this damn door open. They had 3 locks on their doors and the outer lock would just not budge. Finally, after like 5 minutes of that, my grandpa shows up to the door wielding his pistol because I guess he thought someone was breaking in or something. I don't know. And then just like laughed and like let me in. So I'm like, no, I'm not going through that again. Not doing it. So I told Dawn, I'm like, you know, I'm either leaving early and getting back to their house at a decent hour so I don't have to worry about any of that, or I'm staying because she said I was welcome to stay with her, you know, if the issue, not the issue, but if I needed to, whatever. Just reading the comments real quick. Yeah, Singer. It was very cool. Very cool. Yeah, like we waited for the concert to start. It was like 8:30. Mind you, like all the booths and everything were shut down at 7. So I don't know if they were supposed to be on at 9 or whatever, because there was 2 bands that were supposed to play. Some band I never heard of, and then Alien Ant Farm, I guess, was like the main thing. And by 8:30, 8:45, something like that, they still, like, not even like the band before them had been out yet. They were like warming up and was like really annoying and loud. So we were just like, fuck it. Dirty's like, you guys want to leave? And we're like, yeah. So we left. We went to go to get dinner. Had dinner at the hotel. I want to say the Hilton. I think it was the Hilton. It's like where most people were staying. Had dinner there. Trying to remember the days. Yeah, and that was a late night. I didn't sleep like hardly at all, which was unfortunate because Sunday I had to drive home, so I would be back in time for my new job that started today, which I will get into. I just want to get the vaping part, the convention part out of the way. I wasn't drunk. Like, I'd only had like 3-4 drinks tops, and they're like pretty tiny little drinks, but I like never drink, so even that I was feeling tipsy, but I definitely wasn't drunk. if I would have kept going, I definitely would have been. It wouldn't have taken me much longer to get that way. But considering I knew that we were leaving after that and everything, I was like, nah, like I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna dial it back a little bit. Then we had dinner, and that was like another thing too. Like if you're going to a vape convention, make sure that you eat. I didn't intentionally not eat. It's just either number one, nothing good was available, or I didn't have time, or I just forgot. Like honestly, just forgot. It's like, yeah, like every now and then I'd be like, oh, I'm hungry, but then I would like quickly just like kind of forget it. It's really easy to forget, and then it like really fatigues you, on top of the fact that you're probably not going to be sleeping much anyway if you're going with like a big group of people. So yeah, it was nice. Like a couple of people bought me drinks. Like Phenom was always asking me if I he was always asking me if I wanted to drink and everything like that. I had to, you know, dial it back because, like I said, I don't really ever drink, so I had to, you know, keep it in moderation. Dean bought me a drink. Mike ended up paying for he paid for my dinner Saturday. iJoy paid for all of our dinner on Friday. It was nice. It was nice to be taken care of, not just monetarily, because honestly, I didn't really expect anybody to pay for anything for me. Like I had my own money. It's just more so like they were always like, you know, hey, you want to come with me here? Like do this, do whatever. Like they kept me included in everything. And I honestly, and it's not to say anything bad about anybody or whatever, or to say I think badly of anybody. Momo, this is not the fucking time, bitch. Kick your ass. It's just they know each other a lot better than I know a lot of them. So I was kind of worried that, you know, it would be awkward, and I didn't want to interject myself or whatever, but they always made me feel welcome and included, and it was just nice. Like it was really, really nice, and it was just really, really fun. Hello, Killuminati or whatever. I don't know how you pronounce that. You were at the vape convention? I don't remember meeting you, Rhonda. Did I meet you? I'm confused. Quite honestly, there were a couple of people I wasn't completely sure who they were. Because the problem is your little icons when you're up over there are so fucking small. I can't really see shit. On top of the fact that your names over there aren't usually real names or some version of your name. So it's like, it's weird. Plus my memory is just shit. So yeah, there was a couple of people I met. I did not know who the fuck they were. Damn, Travis. So Travis was getting hooked up too. Oh, I think the pictures look horrible on Facebook. Horrible. Well, I would imagine your name is accurate, Rhonda, but a lot of other people were different, you know, names or whatever. What was I gonna say? But yeah, they were like buying drinks for everybody. They were just, I don't know. But it was fun, and like, I don't know, it was just really, really fun. And it was sad when I had to leave because it was really abrupt. But the thing is, Sunday I honestly wasn't even planning on staying. Like I was either gonna like leave like pretty much right away or come back to my grandma's house Saturday night. But since I had stayed with Dawn, well, it was really technically Sunday morning, and I slept like maybe an hour, 2 hours absolute tops. Yeah, I was tired. We all got up early to have like one last meal together. We had breakfast together. And then from there, they went to the convention to Cabo, I guess, because Dawn wanted to set up. Plus, she wanted to walk around, but I don't think she got to, because when we got there, like none of the booths were set up. So I was just like I hadn't showered. I barely slept. Plus I had to drive all the way home and mingle with my grandparents for a couple hours. So like, I just like, I needed to go, because if like I didn't leave, I would like never want to leave. And I just like had to force myself to leave, because like I did not want to be falling asleep while I'm driving home. And I definitely needed to be back because, again, I started my new job today. So I had to like kind of like force myself to like leave. Like everything was winding down. I felt like crap. I felt gross because like I said, I hadn't showered. So I was just like ready to, I was just like, I need to go. So I said goodbye to mostly everybody. Unfortunately, I remembered as I was leaving the parking lot of the Cabo that I didn't say bye to ST, so I didn't get to give ST a goodbye hug, which I felt really bad about. Luckily, I did hug him quite a bit over the weekend, so hopefully that kind of makes up for it. But I did regret not being able to say goodbye to him formally. But there were some issues with him getting back inside the venue because he lost his little ribbon. They give you this little identification ribbon that says like what you are, like as far as like whether you're a vendor, a press person, if you have a VIP pass, whatever. And I guess his fell off, and they were giving him shit about coming back inside because it wasn't open to the public yet. It was like another, I think, half hour, but it was bullshit. But yeah, I felt bad. It wasn't far away. It's just the fact that like I hadn't slept, and I really hadn't slept well at all weekend, and I just knew that I needed to force myself to leave, because I'm a type of person, like this happens with my grandparents all the time, especially when I was younger. I kind of have to do the same thing with them, is like force myself to leave, or otherwise I just never will. And even then I ended up leaving at least an hour later than I wanted to, or was planning to, with them, because they kept talking and talking. I'm like, I need to go. And they kept talking. Even as I'm leaving, walking towards the door, they keep talking. Well, it's mainly my grandfather, but, well, at the end it was my grandfather. But, I don't know. Like, I had to force myself away. But, like, back when, like, I would go up there, because I used to go up quite a lot when I was younger, because I didn't have time constraints the way I kind of do now. Or like I was more available to drive up there more often to spend time with them. And every time I would leave, it was just like, I find goodbyes very awkward. And, you know, and it's sad too. You know, I used to cry like every time I left my grandparents' house. Like I'm even tearing up just thinking about it. But I don't do that as much anymore. But I used to like cry every time. And like my grandma would be crying. It was just not good times, but it's just goodbyes are just not something I enjoy. But yeah, I had to force myself to leave because I just would have never left otherwise. As far as the prices, I paid, like, this is the situation, okay? I bought my VIP pass at least like 2 or 3 weeks before the convention, because I wanted to make sure, because I didn't know, because I've never been to vape conventions before, so I didn't know if it was going to sell out or anything like that, which it didn't. But I didn't want to make all these plans and get to say that I'm meeting everybody, and then all of a sudden, you know, I don't have a ticket because I waited too long. So I wanted to make sure I had my ticket. I got the VIP pass, which was good from Friday through Sunday, supposedly, to the public. There were time restrictions on when you could go as just like a, you know, public person, whatever, however you want to put it, like a customer. And then there was certain times that were specifically just for, you know, buyers, like vendors, companies, stuff like that. You could only have a business license to get that particular pass, and that gave you access to pretty much everything. Like there was no time constraints whatsoever. But unless you knew somebody or had a business pass or a business license, you could not buy that ticket. So luckily, Dawn was nice enough to buy it for me. She didn't know I had already bought a VIP ticket, but she was nice enough to buy one for me, so it wasn't an issue for me. But I still think it's fucked up because a lot of other people did buy their VIP pass in advance, and all of a sudden they just were out of the day of a convention because they just decided to randomly change it. And I don't know why they did that. but I think it's kind of messed up. On top of the fact, I had an extra ticket. I had 2 tickets because of the whole situation, and they never got back to me on whether I could give it to somebody else. I'm guessing I couldn't because when you get there, you have to register and everything. So I doubt it would have been transferable. Plus, they were being a dick just to get me in the whole vendor thing on Friday, because there was some kind of error where even if the person that bought your ticket put a different name for like each ticket, because like you can buy like I think up to 2 to 4 depending on who you were or whatever. If you buy the additional ticket, it's supposed to be under their name, like the person's name, but for whatever reason it was only showing up as the person who bought its name. So they were kind of giving me a little hassle about it being under Dawn's name and not my name, like specifically written on the ticket. So considering they were being anal about that, I figured they'd probably be anal about my second ticket. And at that point I didn't even know like what to do with it. So I was just like, fuck it. So I have 2 badges and shit. Plus you were supposed to, like I said, get the bags, which I don't even know if we're ever going to get them, but whatever. The VIP pass for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, well, they were advertising Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Turned out to be only Saturday and Sunday for the public, was $50. So not cheap. I mean, $50 is $50. But yeah, luckily Dawn was nice enough to... I didn't have my glasses on at VPX. Or are you talking about somebody else's? I didn't even think to bring my glasses to wear them. It just didn't even come to my mind. So the only time I wear these is for the camera. My stepmom always knows I'm filming if I'm wearing these things. It's kind of funny. Yeah, that's what they said, Big Natty, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I find it weird that they were shipping them, because they made it seem like you were getting them at the door or whatever, and it's just really odd the way they did things. But I don't know. It's a minor thing. It's just an annoyance, if anything, a minor annoyance. And it was more like me feeling bad for other people that didn't have access to Friday like they were supposed to. But, you know, it ended up working out for me. It's just, I'm sure there's a lot of other people that it did not work out for, and it's just kind of fucked up. But anyway, getting on to, or wait, let me show you what I got really quick. Oh, and I did spend a lot of time with Daniel as well. DJ LSV Vapes. He's so adorable. Some random chick was passing these out outside the vape. It was like in the main concourse area, I guess you would call it. She was just handing them out. I have no idea how good it is. I haven't even opened it. You can see it's sealed still. The raspberry yogurt is still sealed as well, but I did test this at the booth and it was good. It's just I've been really vaping on this is kind of a funny story. Dirty finally gave me the juice that he said he was going to mail me. It's kind of funny that he ended up just handing it to me in person. So I've been vaping on that. You can see it's got a good dent in it. I mean, that's probably not a lot for most people, but for me, it's a lot to go through in just like 2 days. So yeah. I'm going to talk about that magnet RDA in a minute, Singer. And no, I did not kidnap Daniel, unfortunately. If you were watching Gizzard Stew's live show, Fresh was showing the footage from the Navy when they found out that I was trying to kidnap him, and like it really scared me. So I just decided that I didn't want to deal with all that. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to kidnap him. But I told him, I'm like, because I guess he's not really fond of where he lives and would much rather live in the US. I told him, like, we'll accept you, like, no issues, like, you need to get your ass here. So this is one that I did buy. It was the only thing that I bought from the convention, and it was because Singer told me it was a good one. But it's the Magnet Atomizer version 1.5 by, hold on one second.